WM released this dual crown 300-meter water-resistant diver watch in the second half of 2024. The WM157 is a breathtaking diver watch featuring a bidirectional compass bezel and a unidirectional ceramic bezel, all stainless steel but also available in black. The PVD coating is smooth and rich. The dual crown setup makes for an assertive appeal, but wait for the lume setup. As per usual, WM has its luminosity up there in terms of brightness and longevity, but the key on this watch is the lume dial elements as well as the lumed bezel, so the design of the lumed elements overall. More perks on this watch include a flat slab of sapphire crystal, 300 meters of water resistance, a textured 4 meteorite dial, a date complication at 3 o'clock, and of course a Japanese self-winding automatic movement, the Miyota 8215. So this stunner of a watch will set you back $120, and I think for everything that we're getting with this piece, it's worth it. I still think it's a bargain price. Now, the link to the listing is in the description below the video, so do check it out if you're after a sharp price. And now let's dive in and talk about this 300 meters water resistant diver watch in detail. Let's do it. With regards to the dimensions, we get a diameter of 42 mm, a lug-to-lug length of 52.9 mm, a height of 12.6, a lug width of 22 mm, but the bracelet tapers down to 20 at the clasp, and a weight of 175 grams before removing any links to fit my 6.5-inch wrist. To be fair, the lug-to-lug length initially seems excessive, at just sub of 53 mm, yet numbers alone don't do the piece justice. Look at how it sits on top of my 6.5-inch wrist. The angled down lug hoods appear to hug the watch to the wrist. There are no signs of overhangs. I simply love the black, ominous presence of the piece. It's something different indeed. The black, almost matte distinction and the cuts and slivers of the meteorite dial create angles and light play that are very special. There is something brutal about it, yet in my mind the dual crowns and the orange highlights soften the features to a sporty and more of a unique appearance. Let's take a look at the profile of the watch. It's a layered design. An interesting observation is that the steel bezel grooves are almost in line with the flank. There is a slight overhang of the bezel. The tall flank is brushed horizontally, the lugs taper to droplets slanting downwards. The downward slant is so aggressive it cancels out the protruding male end links. The other layer is the wide threaded rotating bezel. The grooves are wide set, they're deep and notchy, making rotation easy and convenient. The bezel is not too tall though. The transition to the lug hoods is done via a smooth 45-degree bevel. No sharp corners anywhere in the case, nor the bracelet. The end links of the bracelet integrate with the lug hoods almost seamlessly. The end links feature a slightly more coarse vertical brushing finish than the satin smooth brush style of the lug hoods, hence the nearly seamlessly. As with most WM watches, we get a single link bracelet, styled to appear as a 3-link bracelet. Held together by push pins, the lug width is 22 mm, with a slight taper to 20 mm at the clasp, once more offering a tough wearing appearance and appeal. The tolerances are obviously quite high due to the 1-link setup, and link fluidity is also decent. We have a butterfly clasp and unfortunately no half links. And now let's take a look at the right hand side of the watch at the dual crown setup. Now these crowns are not screw-in, but they are signed. Let's talk about them. Both are positioned in semi-guarded fashion. The two crowns are tall and the wide notchy grooves offer easy rotation. At 6.2 mm in diameter, the crowns are consistent with the rugged look of the watch. Flip the watch over to find an exhibition case back. Specs on the perimeter, key ones mentioning the automatic movement, stainless steel, and of course the 30 ATM water resistance rating. The watch is powered on by a Miyota 8215. This is a dependable Japanese self-winding automatic movement, featuring 21 joules, 21,600 beats per hour, 6 beats per second. It is a hackable movement, and it's accurate to within -20 to +40 seconds per day. I do want to show you the bezel action here. It is a special experience for a number of reasons. Firstly, well, there are two bezels on this piece, and the internal compass bezel is bidirectional and operated via the top crown, while the ceramic unidirectional bezel is decorated with prominent and tall white indices. The pip at 12 is also very notable within a downward-facing orange triangle. The grip of the wide threading allows for comfortable handling, and you'll need it considering there is minimal bezel overhang above the case. The rotation resistance proves consistent and assuring. It's not too light, it's more on the heavy side actually. The clicks are ratchety and pronounced, alignment at 12 o'clock is spot on, and most importantly, there is almost no backplay. There is some, but it's very, very little. And now let's take a look at the crystal as well as the dial. The flat slab of sapphire crystal is our hairline above the bezel, protruding just above the 120 click unidirectional bezel. There is anti-reflective treatment here, ensuring the legibility is superb. If we drop to the dial via slanted reho with the compass chapters printed on the perimeter. On the dial we see the minute and seconds chaptering right up against the compass bezel, acting as the reho. Our indices are applied. These are narrow, elongated battens, providing stark contrast to the irregular cuts and shaves of the meteorite dial. The 4 extraterrestrial rock-like pattern is captivating and enticing. The hands are white, with an orange seconds pointer circling the dial in a sweeping automatic motion. The lume is on another level, long-lasting and just so bright. The chilly green hue lasts for a considerable time, but for me, it's the lumed elements design which sparks interest, on the dial and on both of the bezels. I really do doubt that for $120 you'll get anything similar with as much complications as we saw on this watch, well, anywhere in AliExpress or any other micro brand. And trust me, I've seen quite a few watches. So really impressed with this piece. And yeah, you can get this in stainless steel in the usual silver grey, but I think this black PVD, I think is just so much more special, maybe a bit more sporty, a bit more dangerous. Great watch, that's my opinion, and that's an easy recommend. Anyways, the link to the listing is in the description below the video, so do check it out if you're after a sharp price. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.